Today we take a look at one of, if not the most absolutely broken build in Dragon's Dogma 2. Let's get to it. There are a lot of really strong vocations in this game. For example, the magic archer can put out absolutely insane amounts of damage, and so can the sorcerer. However, all these vocations suffer from one singular problem. They can still be hit. Now I know some vocations, for example, the mage and the mystic spear hand, both have ways to mitigate damage. However, those are very short-lived, either due to a hit count or a specific time limit. But what if I told you there was an ability that could just stop you from taking any damage for a long period of time? And I mean really long, pretty much indefinitely, as long as you keep refilling your stamina. Well, guess what? Such ability does exist, and you can get it insanely early on in the game. It is part of the main quest line. The ability is called Formless Faint, and you get it from the quest called the Nameless Village. In order to get the Nameless Village, you need to talk to this guy. You're gonna talk to him anyway, as he is part of the main quest line. Once you get the quest, all you have to do is go to the village and talk to a bunch of people, do a little bit of parkour, and you will get this ability. Then you have to switch to the Thief Vocation if you are not using that vocation already. Once you have done that, you can use the scrolls that were given to you for completing that quest, and then you will learn this ability. So what does it do? It essentially makes you Neo from the Matrix. The ability states it accelerates the user's reaction to an ungodly degree, enabling them to evade all manner of attacks from hostile targets. It consumes stamina while active. From what I can tell, this actually prevents you from taking any damage at all from any source at all that can be inflicted on you by an enemy. That means spells, getting in the middle of a slime, standing right directly in front of a dragon while it is breathing fire. It doesn't matter, you dodge it, you don't take any damage. The insane thing about this ability is that it doesn't consume any extra stamina when you are automatically dodging, because that's what you do. You dodge out of the way, but you don't have to hit anything once the ability's active. It just does it automatically when you were going to take a hit or take any type of damage, but it doesn't consume any extra stamina. Your stamina just slowly drains as you have this ability active, and you can activate it and deactivate it as quick as you can hit the buttons. So that means in order to get it to last longer, you just get more stamina, which is doable through a variety of different methods like gear or eating food at a camp. While the ability is active, there is also nothing to stop you from just eating things that refill your stamina. It even dodges attacks when you are climbing on some type of large monster, and it does some random attack to damage you and knock you off of it. You just dodge out of the way and stay connected to the monster. When on top of the monster, you can regen stamina by getting on top of it to a point where you are actually standing on it without the need to grab hold, and then you just deactivate the ability, regen some stamina, and grab the monster again. This is really handy when you are trying to conserve how many different stamina potions or foods that you consume. Another benefit to this ability is that you can stand still and easily resurrect any fallen member of your party without worrying about anybody interrupting you while you are doing so, because you can't be hit. So you can just stand there in the thick of things and resurrect somebody. But that's not all. We can make this ability even better by getting an augment from the magic archer, and that augment is Veracity. You can get it relatively early on. It's high up in the augments list, and it states recover a small amount of stamina when you deliver a killing blow to a target. Now, this doesn't do you too much good when you're fighting a big beastie. If you're doing that, you're probably going to have to consume different types of stamina regen stuff if you need additional stamina. However, if you are fighting a group of smaller things, this is absolutely phenomenal, because you can activate Formless Faint and then run directly into that group of small things without a single care in the world, lay waste to them by clicking your mouse button like a mad lad, and regen stamina as you are doing it, because this supersedes the other abilities, slow stamina drain, and actually recovers stamina every time you last hit something, meaning that you can stay in this form as long as you continue killing more or less less indefinitely. Let's talk about a few negatives or the downsides to this ability. First off, it doesn't directly activate right out of the gate if you have your weapons sheathed, which I find slightly annoying because it would be really handy if it does. So you need to get into the habit of clicking your mouse button first to pull out your weapons and then hitting the activation key. Or if you're on controller, whatever it is to pull out your weapons on controller, then you hit the activation key combo. If you don't do this and you just hit the activation key combo, you'll just pull your weapons out. This got me into trouble many times before I realized what was happening here because I assumed the ability was active and it wasn't. That's the other thing. In the heat of battle, you have to pay attention because it can be somewhat of a pain in the butt to recognize whether or not the ability is actually active. What I've tended to do now is I look down in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, and for me it's control to swap to my abilities. So I'll hit control to see if it says activate the Formless Faint or if it says cancel. That way I can easily know whether or not it is active, especially when you're fighting something larger, because it can be hard to tell if you have it activated or not. The other downside is you can't activate it and deactivate it when you are attached to something or you have something pinned. So if you are grappled onto an enemy and you are climbing it, you can't activate this. You need to activate it beforehand. If you are grappled a hold of them and you're climbing them and you're running out of stamina, you can't deactivate it to slow down your stamina drain. Now that we got that all out of the way, you know how to get the ability, you know why the ability is so OP, let's talk about the rest of this build and what I'm currently running. Starting with the weapon skills. First off, we have Cutting Wind. This is absolutely fantastic for closing the gap on the enemies and moving around when you are fighting very quickly. Then we have Implicate. When you first get this ability, it kind of sucks, but once you get the upgrade to it, it is absolutely fantastic for yanking harpies out of the air or pulling things close to you. It does, however, use a ton of stamina. I mainly just use it for when I'm dealing with flying things because you don't really have any other way to deal with things that are of range to you because you don't have any range. It's like the Thief's main downside. It's pretty much the Thief's only downside. Next, we have Powder Blast. This is absolutely fantastic ability for knocking big things over and a whole wide variety of other uses. It just creates an explosion, and it's a pretty decent sized explosion. The interesting thing is the synergy between this and Formless Faint, because if you are on the side of a creature or wherever on a creature and you jam this Powder Blast into wherever on a large creature and you immediately blow it up, you will get knocked off of the creature. If you plant it in the ground and you blow it up, it causes you to stumble backwards or twitch. When this happens, you don't actually take any damage, it just causes you to stumble or knocks you off of a creature. However, if you have Formless Faint active, nothing happens. You just blow it up and ignore every negative side effect from Powder Blast. The other reason Powder Blast works really well in this build is because you can be on this side of an enemy, stabbing the ever-loving crap out of them, and have Formless Faint active. When you are almost out of stamina, you plant the Powder Blast because planting it does not cause you to use any stamina. You don't use the stamina until you blow it up. So you're already low stamina, and then you plant this, you release off of the thing, you step back, deactivate Formless Faint so that you can start to regen your stamina, and then you blow up your Powder Blast. This can often stun the enemy or cause them to fall over, giving you time to regen your stamina to activate Formless Faint again if you need to do so. Then I've just bought all of the core skills possible to buy for the Thief. For the Augments, we are running, of course, Ferocity so that we can gain stamina back as we kill things, as we've already discussed. Then we have Endurance from Archer. This increases our max stamina because, once again, we want as much stamina as we can possibly get a hold of. Then we're running Vigor, the Thief Augment, which reduces the stamina consumed when climbing or clinging to foes or pinning foes to the ground. Next, we have Verve. I guess that's how that's pronounced. This just increases your strength, allowing you to hit harder. That's followed by Lethality. This is another Archer Augment, which increases damage dealt when striking a target's vitals. So when you are on, say, a Cyclops face and you're stabbing it in the eye, this increases the amount of damage you do. This one isn't super necessary, nor is the next one that I'm going to talk about, and I'll talk about some options that you can swap out for that will work really well with this build as well. Then last but not least, we have Detection, which is a trickster augment, and in my opinion, this is something that you should just run on every build until you've gotten all of the seeker tokens, because this makes it really easy to see the seeker tokens and the wakestone shards. I don't really care about the wakestone shards because if I die, I just reload the game, but seeker tokens, I'm trying to collect all those, and this makes it easier to find them. If you do not want to run this and you want to min-max to the absolute maximum you can min-max to, some other good options here instead of running Detection and Lethality would be Zeal from the Warfarer, and this allows you to use less stamina when you are performing weapon skills. So for example, Implicate, your Scorpion Get Over Here Yank 'em ability, uses a lot of stamina. This is going to help so that that doesn't use as much stamina, so you can actually use it more often when you have Formless Faint active, allowing you to keep Formless Faint active longer. Another really good option would be Athleticism. This is the Mystic Spear Hand final augment, so you'd have to level Mystic Spear Hand to the max, but it reduces the stamina consumed while dashing. If you have Formless Faint active and you dash, you will burn through stamina very quickly. This will help prevent that from happening. And last but not least, the one that I would prioritize out of these three would be Exaltation, which is the final augment from the Mage Vocation, and this states that it augments your stamina recovery speed. Having your stamina regen faster is just as imperative as getting as much stamina as you can possibly get, because the faster your stamina regens, the quicker you can jump back into Formless Faint. There are often times where I won't even let my stamina regen to full before I'll reactivate Formless Faint again, because I'll need to, because I'm in the thick of battle. So the faster you can get it to regen, the better. And I'll probably be maxing out Mage really soon so that I can add this to the build. And for me personally, if I haven't finished off getting all of the seeker tokens yet, I'll just replace Lethality. Now, I do want to point out that one of the abilities that I stated here that is almost imperative you get is a Magic Archer ability. You can actually rush this ability as soon as you get Formless Faint. That is because once you get Formless Faint, you're going to be really strong and you can dodge enemy attacks and you can just run past enemies. Most enemies, not all, but most enemies have a really short leash range in this game, and you can just run right past them in most cases without Formless Faint. Having Formless Faint means that you can go to areas that you probably shouldn't be in yet really early on in the game without worrying at all, because you can just walk past enemies, or if you want, actually fight them, because there's a pretty good chance you're going to win even early on when your damage is kind of low, because the enemy can't freaking hit you. So you can get this ability, level your Thief a little bit on your way to get the Magic Archer, get Magic Archer, and then swap to Magic Archer and start leveling that. You don't have to level it very far to get a hold of Veracity, then throw a couple levels into Archer to get your Archer abilities, and then you're pretty much good to go for rest of the game. Few other things I want to point out when you are playing this build: don't be afraid to just walk away from the battle if you need to in order to regen stamina. Try not to sprint unless you have to. You're much better off using Cutting Wind instead of sprinting, as it will have you traveling a much larger distance very fast when using less stamina than you would use if you sprinted. You're just going to chunk a small piece of stamina, where if you sprint, you'll start draining stamina very quickly. When it comes to fighting a bunch of little things, you activate Formless Faint and you smash the normal attack button. That's all you got to do. You just smash the normal attack button and absolutely lay waste to everything, and if you have all the proper abilities, you will just regen stamina as you go. When you're fighting something bigger, I find it best to dash in, get close, jump on it, stab till I'm almost out of stamina, plant a Powder Blast charge, and then jump off of it, explode the charge, and then regen my stamina, and then just rinse and repeat. It works really well and allows you to take down pretty much anything with little to no effort. This build is absolutely insane, and one of the other things that makes it so insane to play is it's so incredibly simple to play. There are other classes that I'm sure are very strong to play. For example, Mystic Spearhand, I can see a lot of potential there, but with with Mystic Spearhand, you have to have all this perfect timing and all this other nonsense to be really good at it. With this, you're just broken right out of the gate and you don't even have to do anything crazy except smash the attack button and watch your stamina. That's it. So that's it for this one. Just another short, sweet video. Just wanted to get this build guide out there so that y'all can make the swap to this early before you completed your playthroughs. Let me know what you all think, and if you want to see more build guides, let me know down there in the comments as well. I have some other ideas in mind that need some testing, but I'll be happy to make those for you if you all want them. And if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I do upload those videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.